Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
Hey there, welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast, the #1 industrial-related podcast in the universe that celebrates you. You're the industrial professionals. You're the manufacturing professionals. You are the companies that get it done. You are bold. You are brave. You dare greatly. You innovate. Boy, do we need innovation now. And you're changing the lives of people around the world, and you are changing the world. Thank you very much. That's why we celebrate you on this podcast. All right. It's an innovation conversation. It is timely. It is around smart cities. It's around apps that can truly help communities, especially during this time. We're talking to two individuals, one by the name of Amos Meiri and Chris Davis. They are with Colu Technologies. Let's get going. Yep, Colu. And that's C-O-L-U. But before we get into that, so I just came back from Ohio, Northeast Ohio, brought in by a wonderful organization called Team NEO. Northeast Ohio, N-E-O, Northeast Ohio. And we were just had the opportunity to go wander around. I can't say wander. Visit some really incredible manufacturing businesses, meet with their executives, meet with the people the teams that get it done. And it was an absolutely fabulous trip, meeting wonderful people. Well, let me just sort of distill really what had taken place. And again, it is all in line with a couple of things. One, that location, that area, that group, that organization, along with Magnet, as well as Manufacturing Works and all of the other manufacturers that call that place home, and the supply chain, and you name it, it's up there. They do a number of things really well. One, they collaborate. They're a very tight-knit community, and they know that they have the ability to continue to change lives and continue to succeed in Northeast Ohio because everybody is just willing to collaborate, which is a beautiful thing. And it was wonderful seeing it. Two, they're always pursuing innovation. They're trying to look at how innovation can help them be more efficient, help their bottom line, keep them up, create resiliency, not just from a technology also point of view, but from an organizational point of view. They love to innovate. But the one thing that I really got away from it, or one of the things, is education. In light of the collaboration, in light of technology, innovation, and all of the great stuff that's happening out there, they recognize the necessity to educate. And if you want to retain talent, you got to educate. If you want to have the best and be competitive going forward in your business, you have to educate. And so businesses, hear me out, have got to educate. So one of the companies that I went to was Jergens Inc. Now, they're a manufacturer. They do a lot of things. They make things that hold things. I think that's the moniker. Anyway, they do a great job. Jack Sharon is the president of that wonderful organization, but one of the things that he does and what he's committed to is education. Now, if you're out there on the video, which I hope you are, if not, you'll see that I have a brochure. And on that brochure, right there, on that brochure says, Fast Forward, Think, Make, and Grow. And it's all about educating the youth within that area and also just around the United States and the necessity to be able to do that. Not just in the area of, this focuses in on the science, technology, and engineering math. And it is a program that is laid out by Jergens, but it also lays it out for other companies. And it's incredible. It's there. It's there for you to take advantage of. So I'm going to have this out on industrialtalk.com. I'm going to have the information available just because I think it's so important, especially for us here in manufacturing. We've got to We've got to commit to the education. So anyway, there it is. Looking back out there on the video, boom, fast forward, think, make, grow, important stuff. All right, on to the interview. Amos Meiri and Chris Davis. Now, Amos spells his last name Meiri. I think it's Mary. And Colu Technologies is the company. Now, what's interesting, when I was in Cleveland, this particular tech, this innovation, allows communities to be able to provide incentives for customers to visit other businesses, right? Spend their money within that township, in that community, and earn special coins, special incentives to be able to take advantage of it. And it's a fabulous program, and it is geared toward the towns and cities and municipalities, whatever it might be. But if you sign up, and then they provide incentives for you as a customer to be able to earn something as you, certainly discounts, it doesn't matter. Anyway, that whole technology is available, and they've already started doing a lot of it in Israel, and they have begun doing it here in the United States. So they have offices in Israel as well as the United States. But you'll get all that information in this interview. It was really wonderful. I love how the future is just sort of, especially now, it's challenging, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be solved by a lot of creative people, such as the wonderful team at Colu Technologies. All right. Enjoy this conversation. I did, and I love the technology. Hey, welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast. So glad that you are here. Amos and Chris. Now, Amos, you're going to have to say your last name real quick, please, again.
Meiri.
Mary. See, I got it. I got yours, Chris Davis. I can handle that. That rolls off my tongue really easy, and it's not a big deal. How you guys doing? And welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast. I know you guys are busy. Welcome. What's going on?
Sheltering in place. What else?
All right. For the listeners out there, Amos, why don't you give us a little background on who you are, and then we're going to go right into Chris and do the same thing, and then we're going to start talking a little bit about tools that we can use from within. We'll go down that road. Let's not just break it right now. So, give us a little background, Amos, on who you are.
All right. So I'm Amos. I live in Israel. I'm the founder and CEO of Colu, a company based in Tel Aviv and the U.S. We just opened in New York. So what we're doing basically is do you want me to tell about the company as well?
You go right ahead, man. You just roll right into it, Amos. Because no rules here. It's a podcast.
Great. So my background mostly in finance, and really got into blockchain and crypto very early on, and was always passionate about cities. My wife, by the way, is an urban planner, so it's like in the house.
Oh, wow.
So Colu basically helps cities achieve their strategic goals through incentivize people for different type of behaviors, through different type of incentives. We deploy the platform in different cities around the world. Now mostly focusing in cities in Israel, such as Tel Aviv, but also opening just this year around 6 cities in the U.S.
Wow. Boy. All right, Chris, give us a little background on who you are, and then we're going to go talk a little bit about that Amos Tech.
Well, thank you, Scott. Chris Davis. I'm a smart cities practitioner and have a consultancy in this space called Technicity Consulting. I met Colu at a meeting in February, Meeting in the Minds, and I was impressed with what I saw. And I think, especially now with COVID-19 and cities being locked down, and then entering into a recovery and then a sustainability phase, I think that they can play a really important role. So, hence the introduction to you.
Now, this is interesting because I've been preaching, and it'll be in the intro. It's in the intro right now, but I've been preaching a couple of things. Collaboration, especially today. The elephant in the room is what do we do? It's a virus. How do we get back up and running? There's a lot of challenges. People are just wrestling with difficult issues, and it's always geared around collaboration, innovation, education, because you got to learn. You better learn. And what used to be in the back burner is now all of a sudden in the front burner, and then take action, and then don't be frightened of making mistakes. Just do it. You got to do it. And one of the challenges that I see, and this is why it's important from my perspective to have this conversation, Colu, the service and solution that is provided, sort of falls into those categories, because you're going to collaborate, you're going to innovate because you're using a technology that is innovative. You're going to learn a lot, and you're going to take action, and it's not that difficult to do that. So one of the problems that I see from a municipality government perspective is that how do you start this economy back up? How do you incentivize people to go shop local, to keep businesses going and not shut down? And I think that that's why this conversation is so important. Give us a little and this is to you, Amos, give us a little background of what that solution looks like.
Yeah. So first, one thing about local businesses. So local businesses were already struggling before the COVID-19, right? One of the harder things to do in our world is to create engagement. And with the competition of Netflix, Amazon, and such big players where the consumer experience is just so amazing, local businesses were already struggling to get that.
Yeah.
And when you think about cities in general, what are cities without their local businesses? It's just, if you will go to a city and you will just have, another, I don't know, like Starbucks, and you will see another Zara, and all of those same stores that you see in any other city. What is unique about the city? So the local businesses really are the ones who are creating the city, in my opinion. So they were already struggling before the COVID-19, and then the COVID-19 came.
And took a 2x4 and slapped them upside the head, and now we are here today. And so I like that, because one of the things that, and I'm every bit as guilty, it's too easy for me to sit right here at my terminal and do my shopping on Amazon. And then I just sort of wheel, because I have a scooter now, because I'm at COVID 25, I'm gaining so much weight. So I scooter on over to the front door to pick up my package. And that is the world we live in. And then I don't go to the movies. I scooter on over to my Netflix and I binge watch something with chips. That's the world we live in. And I rarely get out and have the engagement with human beings. And so that's why this is so important and so interesting. So with that, how does that platform, the look of your platform, how does that get me out of my scooter and go to a restaurant or a store and I have to walk?
Yeah. So we look at the incentive model basically in a world where, from one side, a financial incentive is not enough to get you to do things, as well as just getting you to feel better is not just enough, okay? But when you're combining the exact amounts of the financial incentive together with the feeling, you're getting people to, from being a couch activist to actually do something. So we kind of find the fine-tuning between those two things. And if you look at the good brands that are already doing that, think about Warby Parker, or it's a great product. It's kind of relatively cheap to buy glasses, as well as for every, I think, glasses that you buy, one is being donated. So you're feeling good about shopping there, right? Or another brand that is doing something similar is Tom's, those shoes.
The
Tom's,
shoes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they found the right amounts of combination between providing a good product with, it's not that expensive, as well as making people feel good. So the way that the system works, and it's basically an app that we provide as a white label solution to the city decides what it wants to encourage, and we help the city basically curate the right content, the right feedback for people to feel good about what they've done, together with the financial incentive, which are basically city rewards. Then those city rewards circulating within the city, helping the local businesses and the local economy, creating more jobs, and a lot of things that we're going to talk about. But the basic idea of why it's actually working, it's because just throwing at people and giving them money might work, but it will be a small cohort, and they won't do it from the right reason, and they won't keep on doing that, okay? And on the other side, by the way, if you will just tell people that you're so good, and you just donated, and you just done stuff, then, it will also work for a smaller cohort, and they will do it once or maybe twice. So combining those two in the right place get people to take action.
So the question I would have is, do you monitor to that? Let's just say, okay, I've got the financial, I've got the other incentive, and I'm sort of, okay, I roll the system out, and it starts strictly from a government perspective. We want to, that's the top, and then it goes down into communities. Do you track that? Do you track this like, we're hitting it, but not as well, so maybe we should give a little this and a little that, or whatever?
Of course. This is exactly what we're doing. And one of the interesting things that we're seeing is that these two things together create an habit, okay? And habit that even once you're removing the financial incentive, people keep on doing stuff. So for example, one of the projects that we had in Tel Aviv was the city built in a light train, and it basically blocked a whole area, like a big area in Tel Aviv called Jaffa, which is an old port city. And business started to close, I think it was like 5 a week or something like that. So they were really struggling because the whole area was blocked because of the light rail train. And the city basically started working with us, and we allocated rewards for people who are going shop in that specific area. And we saw people coming from all around the city to shop in that area to support the local businesses, because we combine between the financial incentive as well as the stories of the local businesses, who they are, getting people connected with those people. So that was very good. But the interesting part about it is that even after a month of removing the financial incentive all at once, people kept on buying more than they were buying there before the financial incentive started. So, and it kept on going. So the chart was like that, when very, very went up, and then it went down, but not to the place where it was before the incentive. So we created a real change of behavior.
Yeah, Amos, I think one impression I have is that your platform is probably even more relevant today because it provides a means, particularly with us all working or sheltering from home, to satisfy that yearning for the human connection, the human interaction. Yeah. So as you said earlier, there's the financial incentive that can be there, but it's also this, let's get back in touch with each other, particularly now, because we've been out of touch, right?
Yeah, that's, I thought that I'm a type of person that can, this is just personal insights about COVID-19, but I thought that I'm like, I don't need anyone and stuff like that. Like I can live with my family right on the beach, not interact with a lot of people, do those Zooms, and that's it. But then I realized that I'm really missing that. And I'm not that type of person. I don't need a lot of people around me. And that's a very interesting insight. And I believe that if I'm feeling that, then, other people who need that even more than me, they're eager to have connections with people. And that small talk that I have with this butcher, that I'm going to buy meat over the weekend to do barbecue, it's like people are missing that.
Absolutely. I mean, we see that in the small town I live in. People are starving for human interaction.
Isn't that interesting? And Amos, I'm the same way. I sit here and I talk to people all the time, and then when I'm off, I tend to sort of eat my potato chips and get on my scooter to make sure that I'm watching, but even I have that same feeling. Now, the pain point, and I think you brought it up one time, is that for government, right? Let's just they're not making money. Their revenue to be able to try to invest in a system like this is just, well, challenging, right? Why would I, as a government, as a municipality, whatever it might be, why is this important to me?
Yeah. So first, one of your most interesting, and important revenues are from local businesses and tax. So think about that. Only if we're taking 10% out of people buying online outside of the city and bring that back into local businesses, that creates just that much more money that they will pay on the platform. So this is something that is very important for the city, not just in terms of local livelihood and the feeling in the city that we have local businesses and it's safe to walk outside and there are people outside and it's a lively city, but it actually creates revenue for them. So no local businesses, less revenues, less jobs in the city. And the platform really helped revive those local businesses, creates more revenues to the city, and create more jobs. So only that, by that it's a lot of value. The second big thing is that cities are putting a lot of money on marketing, just on communication, right? They want to promote something, if it's an event even, or an agenda for people to recycle. And they're spending a lot of money on just awareness, on putting something on a billboard, as well as spending money on social media, etc. So we have awareness. We don't know. We spent money. We don't know what happened with it. And then we have on the second layer what we call soft engagement, all of those couch activists doing likes and share. And again, I don't know if people actually have done something like that. On the platform, the money basically is being spent on the marketing side only when someone made what I want him to do. So if I went and recycled, if I went and drove public transportation, or I went and spent in a specific area, this is where I'm getting the reward. So this is where the marketing budget is going out.
Right.
So if you look at the ROI is like 400% higher than other channels for the city. So the city can, they're now on low budget, so they can use this lower marketing budgets and still have even bigger impact. And then the third part, I'll make it pretty quick, is just, they can monetize on the platform because we're doing that in cities, right? So businesses promote on the platform, and we have sponsors and some other partners on top of that.
So really the platform is really a revenue enablement, but it leverages technology to be able to achieve that. Now, how does a community, a government community, roll it out? What's sort of best practice? So I'm the big thinker within government, and I say, this is the way we want to go. Now what?
All right. So we work with the city on a 3 months go-to-market plan. And the plan goes into hundreds of tasks, micro tasks, okay? From marketing to education about the platform, to getting the first stakeholders in the business, like cities pay to have bids, business improvement districts. They have the Chamber of Commerce. So tasks around bringing the first 50 merchants to the platform, tasks around how we're going to bring the first users, tasks about what is the first content that's going to be on the platform, what are the first challenges that we're going to put on the platform to promote what behaviors, etc. So we're working with the city a month before launching the platform to the citizens, to the businesses, and that's a lot of work. We have bi-weekly calls with all the city management team. A lot of work, a lot of politics as well. But we get it done, and in 3 months they're up and running, and there are already usually thousands of users using that, and everyone's happy.
And see what I'm interested in too, and for the listeners out there, the ability to be able to deploy the system. Now, I digress because this question popped into my head as well, because that's how I roll. I never really focus on one question. Anyway, so the stability of the system. So I've had apps, been on them, boop, 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 and I'm using them, and I'm having a grand old time. Check this app out. I got this, and then it bombs. Then it, burps, snarls, and farts, and it doesn't work. Then I have a problem, right? Then my user experience, me, is negative, and the likelihood of me going back because it crashed, and it crashed my mobile, my cell phone, whatever it did. Is your apps? Because if you had it out there, you deployed it, you worked through the bugs. This is a leading question. Pretty stable?
Yeah. So I think we've done something that is pretty different than other, apps that are going to municipalities. Before starting to work with cities, we already had hundreds of thousands of users on the platform using that. And we had experience with businesses, with thousands of businesses. So before starting and being comfortable of selling a platform to a city that, there are a lot of politics around it and a lot of social capital, a lot of stuff, around a city doing something like that. So we need to make sure that the platform works, and we made sure that it's working before working with the city. This is one thing. The other thing is that people always ask me, what is the IP of Colu? What is, you think, the most important intellectual property of Colu? And I always say it's not the app and the technology, it's the know-how. Okay? It's the know of how you're taking such a very complex marketplace between users, merchants, partners, city, and you create something that is self-sustained. And this is where I think the biggest, experience and IP that we created in the company.
Okay, so I'm a merchant. I could be a restaurant. I sell clothes. I don't know. I don't care. I am a merchant. I am a local business. I want to be able to sell more, and I want to be able to, get my message out to the local. One, can I advertise on your platform?
Yeah, so you advertise on the city platform, basically.
The city platform.
And you create, for example, something like on the weekend, if you will come to my shop, you will get 10% cash back in the local rewards. Or, for example, you can say, if you will buy 5 times this week in my shop, you will get that amounts of rewards. So they can it works is that you have content in stories. It's just like Instagram or any other story type app where you just swipe between the city stories, which could be events or challenges of rewarding people for things that they are doing, or any other content that the city wants to promote. And you have business stories, and everything is personalized for me. So if I like to go on bars, then the system basically understands that this is what I like. So this is the content that I like. And if I like to go to events with kids, it will learn that I have kids, and this is what's interesting for me in the city. So it's really, learn and personalize experience.
Amos, does the city realize revenue from the stories that the businesses would place on the platform?
Yeah, exactly. So both from that, and some cities are also taking some kind of a subscription fee, a monthly subscription fee from the businesses, a very small one. It's usually between $15 or $20 a month or something like that. It really depends. We have our playbook of, what's working and what's not, and we're letting the city decide. For example, the first city that we're launching in the US decided not to take any fees from merchants at all in the first 6 months. of the operation. So we're flexible. It's the city platform, so they decide. We just facilitate.
So in that case, it's like once again, I put on my merchant's hat. I got it on, and I'd say, "Yep, I want to jump on that app." Now it's up to the government or the entity above that says, "Okay, it's going to cost you $20 a month just to be a participant," but I'm struggling, and then you'll say, "Okay, it's free for now for a period of time. It's free." So that's how I get on board. Now I can say, "Gosh, I'm getting some great traffic, blah, blah, blah. I am going to tell my story." So I contact whoever over there and say, "I got a story. I want to pay for a spot. Boom. Let's make it happen."
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't need to call anyone. You're just going online and you're putting your story up. But,
right.
But yeah, this is basically, you got it definitely right. For merchants, the value is very clear, because think about, the city is going to put hundreds of thousands of dollars in rewards for different things that they want to promote in the system. And just merchants compete basically on that budget. So people will have that budget in the wallet. They will want to go and spend it. So both by earning that, so I will go to a merchant because I know it's participating in a specific challenge. Like, for example, go shop in women in own businesses or something like that. Okay. So I will go there because it's participating in that challenge, as well as then I will go on to go and spend those coins, and then businesses will want to be part of that.
And then once the validation of that particular incentive, let's say a woman-owned business, I actually bought it, and it's logged into my app, and I said, "Yep, I bought a blouse at this woman-owned business. Give me my incentive," whatever it might be.
So what you're doing, basically, you're connecting your bank account to the platform, and we're getting the trigger that you bought in that specific business, and automatically you're getting that reward. You don't need to do anything.
All right. I'd like to keep on talking about this, but unfortunately we ran out of time.
Really?
How about that? It's that fast. We might have to come back and address it, but I always keep it around 20, 25 minutes, and we're right at 25 minutes, if you can believe that.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a wow, because it's that much fun, isn't it? You had a great time, right, Amos?
I did, definitely. I could keep on going like for 2 hours. I really started.
I'm not sure if the attention span would last that long. That's why we have to break it up. All right. Are you active out there on LinkedIn, Amos?
Sorry?
Are you active on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I am.
All right. So if you listeners out there, let's talk about Amos, Amos. Last name is spelled Meiri, right? And it's Colu. That's Coleu. So if you type that name in, you're good to go. That's him. He's good looking. He's got flowing hair. And then Chris Davis, he's out there on LinkedIn, and I know that. I'm connected with him. And if you reach out to Chris Davis, but there's a lot of Chris Davis. What do I need to put a comma? What do I need to put in front of that?
I think the suffix is CD Davis 1.
There you go. CD Davis 1. Anyway, reach out to these gents. You will not do anything wrong. I mean, they're great. They're an open book. And then, once again, I'll have everything out on industrialtalk.com. But you can't go away, because we're going to wrap it up on the other side. Thank you very much for joining the Industrial Talk podcast. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
Hey, again, thank you very much for joining the Industrial Talk podcast. That was Colu Technologies. That's Colu Technologies. I'm not going to spell that out. Amos Meiri and Chris Davis. Smart cities, smart technology, focused on, the helping us through this COVID deal. Because it's going to take collaboration. I've already said that. Collaboration. It's going to take innovation. Colu Technologies. And it's going to take a lot of education. That's right. I've got that video out again right there, or if you're out on video, there's the brochure. Man, I'm just telling you, man, I'm all dialed into that fun stuff. Anyway, once again, thank you. Be about collaboration. Be about technology and innovation. Be about education. Do it with a sense of speed. Make mistakes. Do it. It doesn't really matter because you have to survive. You're going to have to just weather this storm. You're going to have to survive, rebuild, and prosper. And that's what this podcast and everybody that's on it is all about, because we want you to make money, save money, retain talent, manage risk, and be resilient. Again, thank you again. Be bold, be brave, dare greatly. That's what we're all about, and that's what you're about. Thank you very much for joining. We will be back with another great interview.